When you're talking to people about a business opportunity, have you ever wondered why some people respond better to you than other people do? And why some people just react better to you in life's general situations than others? The reason for it is often because they've got a different personality type to yourself. During this presentation, we're going to show you how to identify your own personality type and also to identify the personality types of the people that you're speaking to about the business. There are 4 different personality colours. The first of those is what we call the yellow personality. Now, the yellow personalities tend to be life's introverts. They're quite quiet people, but they're very open. They will share their innermost secrets with you. They often do a lot more for others than they will do for themselves. They're life's natural helpers. Whenever you meet a yellow personality, they're the sort of people who will greet you with a hug. The types of occupations that yellow personalities tend to have are therapists, preschool teachers, nurses. If you watch the TV series Keeping Up Appearances, the neighbour on there, Elizabeth, is a typical yellow personality, a naturally kind person. If you're into cartoons, on The Simpsons, Marge Simpson again is a yellow personality, always doing a lot for other people. You have to understand with the yellow personalities, they don't tend to think about money. It's not the most important thing to them. They also don't like making decisions. Because they're trying to please everybody, they don't actually like to upset anybody, so making decisions is a hard thing for them to do. The positive side of the yellows is also the fact that they tend to be very honest people. So when they're talking to people about the business or the products, people naturally trust them because they know they're going to be honest and trustworthy people. Difficulty with the yellows is that they have trouble closing because, again, they don't like to upset people and they don't like to force people into making decisions, so they don't want to put too much pressure on people. When you're speaking to the yellow personality types, the key word to include is help. Expressions like "I need your help," products that help. Always stress the customer benefits of the products when you're speaking to the yellow personality types. One thing you need to make sure you include is the fact that our products are not tested on animals. That is something the yellow personality types will be listening for during your presentations. The marketing plan is far less important to the yellows because, as we said, the money doesn't matter to them. So if you go into all the details of the marketing plan, the yellows are just going to switch off. They're going to be thinking more about what it can do for other people rather than themselves. You need to include, when you're speaking to the yellows, talks about charities and fundraising because the likelihood is it's something they already are involved in. When you're talking to the yellow personality types about the products, as well as putting across the customer benefits, you need to also mention the fact that our products save people money. By buying FM products, they're actually paying less than they normally would for similar types of products within the shops, and therefore they're going to be helping their family and friends by selling them FM products. They're also going to be helping their family and friends if they mention the FM opportunity to them. So when you're talking about the marketing plan and the business, stress the yellows more importantly than the actual money they'd earn from helping those people. It's the actual help they can give those people and help those people themselves to earn money. The yellows are brilliant in network marketing for giving team support. Once they've got someone into the business, they will look after them much better often than many of the other personality types because they naturally want to see the people they're introducing to the business do well. The next of the personality types is what we call the blue personality. Now, the blue personalities are very different when you first meet them from the yellows. They're life's natural extroverts. Again, like the yellows, they're open, they will actually share things with you, but they will make their impact when you meet them for the first time a lot more than the yellows will. You can always spot a blue personality because they're always talking. In fact, it's hard sometimes to get them to not. They're naturally fun people. They love to try new things. When they go on holiday, they like to travel to a lot of new places. They like adventure. They're not one of those who always sit on the beach. They like to actually explore places. They're always very excitable people. They're full of energy, life natural fast drivers. They tend to be very active people, always on the go. They've always got something they're doing. Again, talking about The Simpsons, you can see what type of programmes I watch. On there, you've got Bart Simpson and Homer Simpson, who are excellent examples of blue personalities. They're people always on the go, but their mind's always going from one thing to another. Bugs Bunny, again, is a typical example of a blue personality. Always jumping around everywhere and doing different things. Coming back to Fawlty Towers, on there, Basil 40 is a typical blue personality. He's always distracted by different things. When you're communicating with the blue personality types, the key words to use are fun, excitement, quick and party. The blue personality types are ideal for MLM and for party plan. The blue personalities love to meet new people. No one's a stranger to them. They will start talking to someone they've never met before, and within a few minutes that person will feel like they've known them all their lives. The difficulty with the blue personality types is because they're talking all the time themselves, they don't actually tend to listen to you. Because they're distracted as well, the blue personality types often won't actually follow up once they've spoken to someone about the business, as they're too busy actually meeting more new people to actually go back to the people they've already spoken to. One big advantage with the blue personality types though in the business is they do get started straight away, because they're naturally excited about the business and what they can do with the business, so therefore they want to get going with it immediately. With the blue personality types, the important thing is to keep the fun and excitement in front of them all the time, because as I said, they could be easily distracted, so you need to make sure you're continually motivating them and keeping excitement going for them. The third of the personality types we're going to talk about is the red personalities. Now red, like the blues, are like natural extroverts. They will make their presence known to you. But unlike the blues, they're much more defensive. They will tend to keep things close to their chest. With reds, it's all about the money and the amount they can earn from the business. Red personality types tend to take charge of situations. They like to be the boss. They often come into this type of business because they find it very hard to work for other people and prefer to work for themselves. The red personality types like to tell others what to do. Examples of red personality occupations would be things like politicians, managers, wedding planners. Typical red personality people would be Margaret Thatcher, Sybil 40 from 40 Towers, and coming back to The Simpsons again, Mr. Burns on there. They're always taking charge of any situation that they're in. One very important thing to realise about the red personality types is that every red actually thinks they're a yellow. And the reason for that is because they naturally always think they're right, they actually then are directing people to do the same things as they are and think the same way as them in order to help them. But it may not be the way that the people they're actually speaking to see it coming across. When you're speaking to the red personality types, you don't need to go into all the details about the ingredients. The ingredients and the fact that their products aren't tested on animals are not things that will tend to concern the reds. Reds tend to be great organisers. They love to run meetings. If you're arranging any trainings or meetings, make sure you get the red personality types involved. They also tend to make the most money in multi-level marketing because they're focused on the money side of things, so they will naturally drive towards the higher positions in the business. One downside with the reds, similar to the blues, is the fact they don't listen. But they don't listen for a different reason. Whereas the blues don't tend to listen because they're always talking, so they've got no time to listen. With the reds, because they always think they're right, they're not going to listen to what you're saying because they think they already know the best answers to everything. The red personality types love recognition, so make sure you're always praising the red personalities. And they love to win everything. The prize doesn't matter. When I was involved in a previous business, there was actually a competition on, and I had a new person join the business who couldn't actually win the holiday prize that was on offer. The highest place you could actually finish was 12th, and only the top 10 people went. I didn't actually tell her about that competition because I thought there was other incentives that would be better for her to focus on rather than to not be able to qualify for a holiday. When the competition finished and she actually found out that she could have finished 12th, she actually said to me, "Why didn't you tell me about it, Roy?" And I said, because there's other incentives that you could go for, that whether you could actually win the prize, whereas with the holiday you stood no chance of winning it. She said to me if I'd actually told her that she could have finished 12th, she would have worked as hard as she possibly could to finish 12th just to get the recognition within the company newsletter to show that she was 12th, even though she couldn't have actually gone on the holiday. She was a red personality type. She wanted to win even if she couldn't actually have the prize at the end of it. So for the reds, the prize doesn't actually matter. I'm sure from what you've already heard that you may see yourself as a red personality type, or you certainly will know some people who are. Would you like to know how to control the red personality types? I'm sure we all would. It's actually very, very simple. It's what's called compliment challenge. For example, if you had someone in your business called Fred, you may say something to them like, "Fred, You did a brilliant job last month. You sold 100 bottles of fragrance and you introduced 5 people to the business. Absolutely terrific achievement. By the way, Mary last month introduced 10 people to the business. I know you're doing very, very well, but I know there's no way you could actually do as good as Mary and introduce 10 people to the business in a month. As soon as you said that to Fred as a red personality type, you can guarantee next month he will introduce 20 people to the business just to make absolutely sure he beats Mary. The final of the personality types we're going to be talking about is what's called the green personality. Now the green personality, like the yellows, tend to be quite introverted, and like the reds, they tend to be quite defensive. So they tend to be much quieter people. The types of occupation the green personality will have are engineers, accountants, computer programmers, scientists, the detailed occupations. They tend to be quite quiet people and often quite socially challenged. Mr. Spock from Star Trek is the ideal example of a green personality type. They're always into the facts and figures. They tend to read a lot, they tend to be on the internet a lot, they're very much into the details of things. Whenever you're talking to the green personality types, use words like just sit at the back, information, and I need your opinion. Green personality types love to look into things and they love to give opinions. They also love to research things, so they need all the information about the business. And they often come back to you with a lot of questions because they want to know everything that's possible to know about the business. The downside with the greens is they tend to be impossible to motivate. For example, we talked earlier about a competition in a previous business. With the green personality types, it's all about the detail. So for example, if there's a competition going on, a holiday competition within a network company, the reds will want to win it, wherever the holiday was to. The blue personality types will want to know what the holiday is and all the fun they can have on the holiday, so you need to sell the sizzle to them about the holiday. The yellow personality types would actually prefer for someone else to win it rather than themselves because they're always looking to help other people. The green personality types will spend so long, and I'm actually a green personality type myself, we'll actually spend so long going through the details of the competition will be over by the time we've analysed it all. One advantage with the greens is because we look into the details on things, we actually end up selling ourselves on anything that we decide to go ahead with. So therefore, once we get started, we tend to be very, very loyal. And we also know the answers because we've actually asked all the questions ourselves beforehand, so we've got all the information. I'm sure from everything you've heard about the 4 different personality types, you already have got a good idea of the personality type you are and the personality type a lot of people you know are. All of us are made up of a combination of the personalities. So some people will be more green, some people will be more red, some people more blue, or some people more yellow. But within all of us will be an element of all those 4 personalities. One way you can actually do a fun test to actually see if you're a green personality or blue personality, etc., is by going to the website that you'll see on the screen. It gives you a personality test that you can go through, which will help to identify at the end the personality type you are. When you're doing the test, make sure you're very honest with yourself with the answers you give, because that will give you a much more accurate result. The first time people do the test, people tend to give answers that make themselves look better, and as a result of that, they tend to come out as the caring personality, the yellow personality type. So if your first result you get is yellow, do the test again and try to be even more honest the next time you do it. You may well find you're still a yellow personality, or your personality type may change and you will come out as one of the other personalities on there. You could even get a friend of yours to actually answer the questions for you because they're a lot more likely to give an honest opinion than you are on there. The key questions to ask people to help to identify the type of personality type they are is firstly what they do for a living, because that can often give a good key to the type of personality. As we said, for example, accountants tend to be green personalities, politicians tend to be red. However, many people have got involved in the occupation they're in because it may have been the only thing they could do at the time, and therefore they may actually be in the wrong job, in fact the job they hate. So a much better indication to the type of personality type they are is what they do in their free time. Because in someone's free time they're actually choosing what they're doing as opposed to in a job where they may be having to do it because it was the only choice available to them. Again, it's not always a completely 100% way of identifying the type of personality type they are. It's much better to ask people, once you've asked them what they do for a living and what they do in their free time, to actually say to them, what's the thing they like most about their job or about their hobby? For example, I did a web design course, and you think that the people on the web design course would tend to be green personalities like myself, into the details of things. But people have gone on the course for different reasons. For example, there were people on there who had been told they could get promotion at work and therefore more money by going on the course, and that was the reason they were there. So they were the red personality types. There was a gentleman on the course who was actually had solely gone along because he wanted to design a website to help his father's post office business, because his father was struggling for money. So he was actually a yellow personality type. He was taking a whole course just to help his father out. And then there are the blue personality types there who weren't interested in making money so much from designing websites. They just enjoyed the creative side of designing them. For us greens, it was more about learning the details of things. Whenever you do these tests, and whenever you're talking to people and analysing the type of personality type they are, it's actually quite easy 50% of the time to actually work out what personality type they are. But as I said, because everybody is a mixture of different personality types, there's going to be a lot of times where you don't necessarily get it right on there. But it doesn't matter, it gives you a good indication of their personality. When you're doing presentations, it's easy to do the wrong type of presentation to the wrong type of personality. For example, if a green was presenting the business to a blue, the green would give too many facts, whereas the blue just wants to know about the fun of things. If a blue was presenting to a green, the blues would tend to go off topic, whereas the greens would be thinking, they were talking about this, now they're talking about that. Can you please get back to the facts? The yellows talking to the reds would make the mistake often of actually not talking about the business or not talking about the money side of things, which is what the reds are looking to listen to. Whereas a red talking to a yellow about the business will tend to talk just about the money and not about the benefits of the products. So to summarise, how do we motivate the four colours? With the yellow personalities, as we said, we talk to them about the product benefits and how the business can help people. With the red personality types, we talk to them about the money. For the blues, it's about the fun, so we talk about the parties, the holidays, the cars. With the greens, it's about the information, about the facts. And when you're doing group presentations, you need to make sure that you're actually appealing to all those four groups. So when you're doing group presentations, you need to make sure there's elements of all of these four types of personality within your presentation, so therefore it will attract attention from all four personality types.